G'day, g'day. My name's Amber Irving Guthrie. Our guest this morning is Esther Lloyd. She is a science communicator and does all sorts of community projects around Gippsland, including the Latrobe Valley Community Power Hub, Bug Blitz, Climate for Change, just to name a few. Well, I'd love to just quickly speak about Climate for Change. They're a non-for-profit group. They've just recently been in the Latrobe Valley speaking to locals. And you said before, each individual can do something for climate change. But, I mean, I get that and people get that, but it's hard to know where to start. So what are some kind of tips for people to, who kind of feel disenchanted with this to actually do something about this?
Look, one of the biggest things you can do is just start talking to people. And we really underestimate what conversations have for us. Like, part of a conversation is sharing a story, sharing your story. And through sharing these stories, we find the values that we have in common. And it's through finding these common values that we really go, okay, well, this is something that we want to protect and we want to preserve into the future. And you can sort of build a plan around that. So Climate for Change is a Melbourne-based not-for-profit who is working with the Gippsland Climate Change Network and Psychology for a Safe Climate. They've developed a community-led program called Communities Leading Change, which is recruiting right now. And the idea is it's a program to empower local residents to engage their communities and build support for a sustainable, fair future. We get a lot of talk at the moment around just transitions, but if you don't have people on the same page about what a just transition actually means, and you're not getting everyone in the community on the same page, everyone sharing their stories and going, hey, this is important to me for this reason, there's no way forward, really. You're just a whole lot of voices in sort of a mess of what we find ourselves in now.
How would you describe a just transition?
For me, a just transition is something that's considered everyone's perspective. I think it's really important that everyone has a chance to say what's important to them and where they think the future should go. Obviously, working towards climate change is going to be compromise and there will be loss. But I think you need to move beyond that and focus on sort of the positives and the benefits that can come out of this. So we focus on loss of coal jobs and things like that, which we need to sort of acknowledge, but we forget about the opportunities in investment and renewable energy jobs that have a huge capacity to provide more jobs than what we currently have.
And have you had some of those awkward conversations with current workers at some of the power stations around the Latrobe Valley, and how have those conversations played out?
Yeah, so most of the people that I've spoken to have worked in the coal mines, who are still working in the coal mines, express that they feel victimised a little bit. People sort of attack them for working in the industry that they do. And I can understand why some people feel that way, but I don't think it's really beneficial for where we need to go. I think it's important that they share their stories as well, and they're part of the solution as well, because it's their future as much as everyone else's future of moving into something different. Like the two coal mines that we have there, I think Yallourn's closure date for mining coal is 2032 and Yallourn North is 2048. So we really need to be talking transitions of where these people are going to move their jobs to and the jobs for their kids and everyone in the valley. We forget the youth, I suppose, a lot in this conversation because we think we know more or we're wiser or we've been around, but really it's their future that is looking the scariest.
It's 17 minutes to 11 o'clock on your Tuesday. My name's Amber Irving Guthrie. My guest is Esther Lloyd, and we're speaking about one of the projects she's working for at the moment, Climate for Change. They're a non-for-profit group, and a big part of what they do is to go around and have conversations with people, and then hopefully, people kind of get inspired and speak to other friends, and the message gets across that we should be doing something about climate change. And I'm just wondering here, I mean, it sounds like obviously you're very measured when it comes to speaking to people who might not have the same view as you, Esther, but do you feel like some of the environmentalists out there are kind of taking this aggressive approach that more divides people working at power stations with greenies?
I think that's starting to change. I think there's definitely been examples of that. I think people are starting to recognise that they really do need to come together. And the thing that I really love about this project, Communities Leading Change, is it's about that. It's about learning how to engage the community. It's about learning the tips and tricks around having difficult conversations. No one wants to be the bad guy. No one wants to be sort of blamed for what's happening. But it's really important that we learn how to communicate value-based messages with each other, work on conflict resolution, and just get our hands dirty, basically.
How can people get involved if they want to sign up to a program?
Yeah, so the program at the moment, to apply, you send an email to clc@climateforchange.org.au. There's 4 after-hours week day workshops, and then there's a 1 weekend non-residential retreat. And after that, you'll be supported to facilitate your own conversations across the valley, exploring the big questions such as climate change and just transitions and brown coal and air quality. And understanding how these impact our communities and personal lives is really how we're going to be able to achieve a better future together.